Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to week 12 of the Beyond the Game Parent Series. I don't have enough fingers to do week 12, but welcome. I am Candace Lodre, your favorite family life coach, as well as the Programs and Operations Director at 4 Point Play. We are almost at the end. We have one more week. I do have enough fingers for that. One more week before we will be ending this parent series. We are working out of the free ebook Beyond the Game, where we're focusing on the emotional and mental needs of an athlete through positive affirmations. If you have not already downloaded the book, which I know you have, but just in case if you haven't, you can access it in the comments. Again, it is a free download and it will bless you, your athlete, and your family's lives. So today we're going to be working on two different subtopics, which is elevation of gifts and talents, and we are going to be working with mental health. Now, obviously, mental health is very important for us to focus on with our athletes because we want them to be able to be sound, grounded, and be able to have a positive mindset when it comes to their mental health. We want them to be able to work through their issues internally as well as externally. So we want to be able to be a resource for them to do so. Again, as I've mentioned in previous videos, we want to make working on our mental health a way of life, not just a trend. So we want to constantly be able to work on all aspects of ourselves in a balanced and positive and healthy and productive way. So that's emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So definitely, if this is a topic that you are not familiar with, if you're not sure exactly how to approach your athlete or to deal with your own mental health needs, there are plenty of resources out there. Google is amazing, but as well as you can begin the process with utilizing this book. We do discuss different things within this book about mental health and to get you on the right track. And once you're on the right track, you just keep going. You stay the path. So as far as elevation of gifts and talents, again, due to we are working with athletes, they are automatically in a position to work with their gifts and talents through the sport that they are participating in. But we want them to elevate. We don't want them to stay stagnant. We don't want them to stay at a plateau. We want them to continue to grow and evolve. And so we are hoping with this book, which again is a starting point, is to begin to see how they can grow in their gifts and talents through their sport. And then if they can't and they've reached that plateau through their sport and can't find any way else to grow in their gifts and talents, let's start looking outside of sports and seeing how they could continue to get higher and continue to elevate within the natural talents and gifts that the Lord has blessed them with. So today we're going to work with affirmation 11 and we're going to work with affirmation 28. So we're going to start with affirmation 11, which deals with mental health, which reads, our athlete will not be intimidated by others or themselves. He or she will encounter each challenge with courage and utilize God's wisdom to guide them along the way. Our athlete will not be plagued by mental issues that will keep them from thriving. We will provide them with the solutions or resources to address any issues that are present with the hope and belief they will overcome those issues. So as I stated before, we want to make sure that mental health, dealing with our mental health is a way of life, meaning we want to incorporate it in our everyday routine. We don't want it to be something that is just the new buzzword or it is a fad or a trend or something that is just going to come and go, because we technically should have been addressing our mental health needs since the beginning of time. However, we have not, but because we know better, we're going to do better, and then we're going to also be the examples for our athletes and lead better. So we are going to make sure that we are beginning to take the necessary steps to address our mental needs as well as our athletes' mental needs. Now, of course, dealing with sports, you can imagine that your athlete has to deal with multiple challenges and obstacles that they may face with dealing with whatever sport that they're doing, whether it's basketball, football, soccer, tennis, lacrosse. However, begin to start asking yourself questions as a parent: as what do I have in place for my athlete to be able to overcome those challenges mentally when they are dealing with a rough coach, or if they're dealing with not understanding certain plays, if they're dealing with not being able to get that jump shot right, if they're dealing with being overlooked for a position that they were really working hard for. How am I addressing those things mentally with them? Meaning, how am I talking to my athlete about what they are experiencing internally, about what challenges they are going through? Do I have someone in place like a counselor, a therapist, a life coach, a pastor, a family member, trusted family member that would be able to help them and guide them to process these things? Do I allow my athlete to vent about these things? Do they have a way to release the things that they are experiencing internally? Even going a step further, are there mental issues that I'm overlooking? Is my athlete not being able to be successful in things because they're dealing with something that's a little bit more serious? And let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with addressing issues mentally that you have. And if you do have or been diagnosed with the issue, guess what? You're still normal. You are still a part of this society that is full of people that have differences in more ways than one. So we want to make sure that we are creating a space that our athletes are comfortable to be able to express the mental challenges that they may have, and that we put in place things for them to be able to execute and address those things successfully. Again, whether it is obtaining a counselor or a therapist that they can talk to once a month, once a year, however the case may be. If that is providing them with journals, providing them with materialistic things that they can be able to vent and get their frustrations out. If it is support groups, and which is something that people overlook all the time, where they can be able to talk about their issues with people just like them. As well as, again, if we're going a step further with, psychiatrists and trying to find medication, things of that nature. The most important thing that you can do is, as a parent for an athlete, is to create a space where they are comfortable and safe to be able to discuss these issues with you. And so while we never want to see our children going through anything that is unfortunate or challenging or difficult, we have to be able to address those things appropriately so it doesn't go too far to where there is no hope and there is no answer. The very first step you can do is, again, creating a space that is comfortable and safe for them to be able to talk about it, and allowing them to be able to talk about it in the way they want to, not necessarily in the way you believe they should. So, moving on to affirmation 28, which is dealing with elevation of gifts and talents, which reads, our athlete will love their sport of choice and not be pressured to meet up with others' expectations of them. As a family, we will encourage our athlete to participate in the sport in healthy and fun manner. Our athlete will set their own goals, expectations, and prospects for themselves and strive to succeed on their own terms. So this affirmation, what sticks out to me is allowing for our athletes to set their own goals, expectations, and prospects. Now, As parents, we always want the best for our kids. We want to make sure that we are putting them in positions to make sure that they succeed. However, sometimes we overlook the most important thing in that equation, which is ding ding ding, the athlete. we take it upon ourselves to try to put our own expectations, our own goals on our athletes, and then we don't even inquire with them about what they are looking to do within the sport that they are participating in. What goals are they trying to achieve? What expectations do they have? And pretty much they feel as though that they're ending up just this kid that's playing a sport that don't have any say-so in it. And we don't want to do that, right? So as you guys may know, my husband is the basketball junior varsity coach at Walther Christian Academy in Melrose Park. And one thing that we wanted to do for the athletes is help them to understand that it's more than just a game. We want them to know that we were here for them, not only on the court, but off the court. And so while they weren't playing the awesome game of basketball, we wanted them to work on themselves internally as they were externally. And so I created, in conjunction with my husband, what is called the Athlete's Playbook. So within this playbook, it basically is a journal for athletes. So I gave them writing prompts within the journal. We flooded it with different quotes from different athletes, and a part of that was we also provided the things that they can think about as far as goal setting and as far as working on themselves, again, emotionally and mentally at the time, providing them with positive affirmations as we're doing right now. And so part of it was a section that talked about goal thinking and process thinking. And within the affirmation, we talked about how we want our athletes to be able to set their own expectations and goals. And sometimes we maybe overlook that. Maybe they don't know how to set a goal. Maybe they don't really know how to set an expectation for themselves. And so within here, simply in having a conversation with your athlete on doing that, part of it is just helping them to understand, like, okay, what is goal thinking or goal setting? And part of that is deciding who you want to be, where you want to go, and how you want to get there. And then going a little more in detail and explain to them, you know, for the season, set high goals and low goals. Maybe set 3 high goals and 3 low goals. And a high goal is winning a championship, earning the title on a team, like being a point guard, or being the kicker on a football team. That's gaining a title on a team, and winning an award. So most teams have like the big celebration at the end where they have their reward ceremony. And so going after being the best defensive player of the year or something, that's a high goal. And so a low goal would be, for example, things that you want to achieve on a smaller level, obviously. So improving your defense or offense, making it on time for practice. Which I know a lot of coaches out there probably are like, my gosh, if I could just get them on time or get them to attend practice, that would be amazing. So like setting a logo will be, hey, I want to make sure that I'm on time for practice all season. That's a logo. Developing pregame habits. So that's a logo, like making sure that I drink enough water before we start the game, praying before the game with my team, making sure I listen to a certain song before I go out. That is a pregame habit as well as a logo. So that's an example that you can help your athlete to be able to understand how to set a goal, and as well as what it means in setting goals and goal thinking. And so process thinking kind of goes along the route of how we have to help our athletes begin to create systems, daily habits, training, practicing. Those are like process thinking. So you are thinking about the process that it's going to take to complete the goal. And so to help them to do that, explain to them that first, you have to think about what your process look like. Like what does that look like to you? Does it look like you doing something daily? Does it look like you doing something weekly? Does it look like you doing something monthly to achieve that goal? Then to help you in that process, you have to utilize journals, you have to utilize calendars, you have to utilize different tools that can help you and remind you of how to complete that goal. And so, say for instance, going with, let's just say, one of the low goals as far as a pregame habit. Tell your athlete to get a calendar, and every game, make sure they write on that calendar, pray with the team 10 minutes before a game time. So they can remind themselves, oh, okay, this is the process it's going to take for me to achieve the goal. So in that process, they have that calendar to remind them to do whatever the goal is, and then it will be able to help them to accomplish that goal, hence process thinking. But these things are all important with allowing our athletes to begin to take accountability for themselves, to begin to feel more independent, to begin to help them to understand that they have a say-so in the things that they are doing within their life. So this is actually a great resource to use. And if you wanted a copy of this, please contact us at www.4pointplay.org in our contact section and just say, hey, I would like a copy of the Athlete's Playbook. We will digitally send you the playbook, and you can easily just print out the pages just like with the ebook and put it within a binder for your athlete and have them just journal away and utilize all of this good stuff in here. So again, if you would like a copy of the playbook, definitely it is free. You can contact us at www.4pointplay.org, the number 4, P as in Paul, T as in Thomas, play, Play spelled out, .org, and go to our contact section and just send us an email. Let us know you would like a free copy of the Athlete's Playbook, and we will go ahead and send it to you digitally. So I hope that this information within this episode was helpful. Again, I'm sad that this is almost coming to an end, but again, I hope that this series have been a blessing to anyone that has been able to view it. We have a lot of things that's going to be rolling out in the fall and winter, so continue to check our website again at www.4pointplay.org. And so we do our best to go beyond the game and try to address issues that are normally not talked about when it comes to sports. And so we hope that we are a valuable resource to you, because you guys are a valuable resource to us, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to share, comment, like. This is accessible on YouTube, so make sure that you subscribe to our channel. We will be rolling out another series coming in October, so definitely be in a lookout for it. And we hope you have an amazing weekend and day. See you guys next week.